At the heart of the instrument is the step sequencer section. The majority of your riff's rhythm, pitch, and level is controlled here, on a step-to-step basis. The grid can control velocity, duration, volume, and panning. An important concept to grasp is that the grids controlling these four parameters run simultaneously as if stacked upon one another. Information about the pitch row is covered in the video Controlling Pitch, Key, and Scale, so let's continue down to the grid. The velocity grid controls how hard the note on a step is played. You must have some steps active on this grid to be able to hear a sound. Duration utilizes a bipolar grid that controls how long the note on a step is triggered. It's important to note the difference between step length, found in the row below the sequencer grid, and duration. Length determines how long the pattern stays on a step before moving to the next step and is defined in musical values like a 16th note. Duration is the amount of time a sound is triggered on a step relative to the length. The default duration value of 0 allows a step to be triggered for its full length. A value of 100 doubles a step's trigger time and can cause a step sound to carry over into the next step. A value of 50 halves a step's trigger time. The volume grid controls an internal parameter that can be used to lower and raise the level of any given step. Note the difference between velocity and volume. Velocity controls the intensity at which steps are triggered, while volume controls their playback level. The pan parameter is a bipolar grid that can shift the sound from hard left at the bottom to hard right at the top. As a tip, on any of the grids you can draw linear patterns by holding the right button of the mouse while dragging. The view of the grid displays 32 steps. If your riff goes over 32 steps, the page buttons will activate, allowing you to switch amongst any active pages. Engage Follow if you'd like the pages to visually turn during playback. If it is not active, the view will remain on the first page at all times. The speed option allows you to play back the pattern at half or double speed. On the right side, we have Reset and Generate buttons. The generation settings are tied to the Generation Options page. For example, if we set the minimum pitch range to -12 and the maximum pitch range to 3, then all pitch generations will result in numbers between -12 and 3, like so. Additional buttons in the Pattern section allow you to have a riff, double it, increase or decrease the steps, as well as shift everything to the left and right. Don't overlook the power of these functions when generating your own riffs. Sometimes generated riffs sound perfect, but it sounds like the start of the riff is in the middle of the grid, so slide it over. Or perhaps there's a small section of the riff that's perfect and you want to eliminate the rest. Finally, we have the MIDI pattern drag and drop box. This exports the riff to a MIDI file based on the last note played. The file can be dragged and dropped directly into your sequencer.